just really quick to get you started on this question. I want you to perform more than one transformation on the same triangle. So you're actually doing several things to move this triangle around the grid. In fact, you're going to be doing three different rules. So just for this first example, you have to do a couple things. One, you have to make sure you can interpret this rule really well. And then two, you have to actually be able to do this on the grid. And so looking at this rule, what the dead giveaway is that we're looking at this vector right here. If we're looking at a vector, we know this is going to be a translation. In other words, it's going to be a slide. And this tells us how we're going to slide. This rule tells us to get our new xy, we're going to have to take our old xy and subtract 1 from the x's and then subtract 2 from the y's. In other words, we're going to be moving left 1 and then we're moving down 2. And so now we have to do that on the actual grid. We can accomplish this a few different ways. I'm just going to show the vectors. And so the vector has to go down 2 and then back 1. And so the vector we're talking about is this guy right here. Okay? Remember, vectors is going to be one-headed arrows. That's how we're going to move that down to the left. Now, the entire thing, since this is a translation, should actually move the same exact way. And so A should move the same exact way, and B can move the same exact way as well. And so I'm kind of cheating a little bit here because I have this technology to do it, but you can kind of see where the new triangle is going to end up. Now, it doesn't have to be a perfect representation as far as like the lines being perfectly straight, but just do the best you can. And so the new triangle will end up, what we end up with is right here. Okay. Now remember, the prime markings are just going to tell us that it's a copy of it. So when I say move to A prime, B prime, C prime, that's just what the new points are going to be called: A prime, B prime, and C prime. So now what we need to do to continue this is to take where our triangle currently is and recopy it. So this is going to take just a second, but recopy it before you start. Okay. So there's going to be our A prime, B prime, and C prime. And now we're asked to do something else. So we're asked to perform this type of movement. Again, the important information here is that we've been given a line. If we're given a line, that means it's a reflection. It's going to be a reflection over the y-axis. This being the y-axis, so that's going to be our line of reflection. And so I have to flip it left and right. Now remember, this is going to be a perfect flip. So C is going to stay where it is. A is going to be moved to this side. Now this is currently a 3, 2, and so when I flip it, it should be a negative 3, 2 because I'm flipping this direction. And so the double prime means it's a copy of the copy. So A prime is a copy. A prime prime is a copy of the copy. B being at 4, -1 will be at -4, -1 now, and that'll be B prime. And then we can now again complete our triangle. We can confirm this is a reflection for a couple different reasons. One, we have the line of reflection that goes right down the middle, but also if you trace these lines, A to A prime and B to B prime, we'll notice that this is a perpendicular bisector. The line of symmetry cuts that line perfectly in half and does so with a right angle. That confirms it's a reflection. Okay. Now for the third step, we're going to take our A prime prime, B prime prime, C prime prime triangle and transfer it first. So the pink triangle, C 3, 2, 4, 1. Okay, and then we're going to perform this last thing on it. Now this one is also going to be a reflection because we've been giving a line here. That's the most important thing. And so we're going to reflect along the x-axis this time. So it's going to be this guy. Okay, so that's our line of reflection. So we're going to be basically flipping down. Let me get these letters in here. So it's C. Okay, and so we're flipping over this line. And so it looks like C is going to stay where it is. B prime prime will be flipped up. And then A prime prime. So A prime is 2 spots down to the line, so it should be 2 spots away from it. And so that's A prime prime. Okay, and so that's going to be our final position. So it might help to say, like, I don't know, color this in maybe. But our triangle in its final spot is just going to be this guy right here. Okay, so this is what's called a composite or compound transformation, which basically means you start with a triangle and then you're going to do multiple things to it. So the first thing was that we translated it down. and then we flipped it over the y-axis, and then I asked you to flip it one more time over the x-axis. And so that's what I'm going to ask you to practice and get really good at. Your goal, as it says right here, is to gain competency and comfort what's called compound or composite transformations. In other words, you're able to take a shape and move it more than once, given nothing but the rule. So when you're done with this part of it, check the key, of course, but then also make sure you come to me, tell me that you're ready for the next part, and I'll get you started. All right, thank you very much, and good luck.